Oliver Anthony is the singer-songwriter who wrote Richmond North of Richmond, and it has blown up over the past couple weeks. It's all over social media. It's gotten to #1 on the charts. And conservatives and Republicans have used this song as a new anthem for their political cause. And that is something that Oliver Anthony, the writer of the song, does not like. He filmed a short message to his followers that condemned the GOP, condemned these Republicans and conservative media for using this song as they did on their outlets and in the recent GOP debate. Let's watch.
You know, it's the one thing that has bothered me is seeing people wrap politics up into this. I'm disappointed to see, like, it's aggravating seeing people on conservative news try to identify with me like I'm one of them. It's aggravating seeing certain musicians and politicians act like we're buddies and act like we're fighting the same struggle here, like that we're trying to present the same message. You know, I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and I've tried to be polite to everybody, and I've talked to hundreds of people the last 2 weeks. But it seems like certain people want to just ride the attention of this song to maybe make them their own selves relevant, and that's aggravating as hell. The other thing that I find aggravating is, well, you know, like, it was funny seeing my song in the, it was funny seeing it at the presidential debate. Because it's like, I wrote that song about those people, you know? So for them to have to sit there and listen to that, that cracks me up. But it was funny kind of seeing the response to it. Like, that song has nothing to do with Joe Biden, you know? It's a lot bigger than Joe Biden. That song is written about the people on that stage, and a lot more too, not just them, but definitely them. It's cool seeing some of my other music come out, because people are, I guess, starting to appreciate and understand what it is I'm really trying to say. It's hard to get a message out about your political ideology or your belief about the world in 3 minutes and some change. But I do hate to see that song being weaponized. Like, I see the right trying to characterize me as one of their own, and I see the left trying to discredit me, I guess in retaliation. That shit's got to stop. If you watch the response videos on YouTube to this song, it's not conservative people responding to the song. It's not even necessarily Americans responding to the song. I don't know that I've seen anything get such positive response from such a diverse group of people. And I think that terrifies the people that I sing about in that song. And they've done everything they can the last 2 weeks to make me look like a fool, to spin my words, to try to stick me in a political bucket. And they can keep trying, but I'm just going to keep on writing. And I've got a lot of words to put down on paper, and I've got a lot of songs to put to chords, and I don't know what my music career is going to look like. I don't know how many shows I'm going to do and how many tours I'm going to put on, but I am going to stay true to my word. I'm going to write, produce, and distribute authentic music that represents people and not politics.
Now, my message in response to Anthony here is, of course they co-opted this song. Of course they're using it for their own political power, because that's what conservative leaders do. They co-opt the struggle of Americans for their own power. And corporate media co-ops messages like this because they want to point the finger at anybody else but themselves. So when you have a song that kind of sounds like it's slamming the American government under Joe Biden, well, of course conservative media is going to pick it up, because they don't want the people watching their programs to realize that they're the dangerous ones. that the board members who sit on Fox News and these Fox anchors who make millions of dollars and these Republican presidential candidates who are worth millions of dollars, that they're the danger, that they're the threat to everyday Americans. So, of course, this is going to be co-opted as their national anthem, especially when Anthony uses words like this is it's like living in the new world, which is kind of a reference to like the New World Order, which is used by a lot of conservatives and libertarians and conspiracy theorists as this kind of idea that there's this government out there above the federal government that's controlling everything, that there's this NWO government controlling the world. So, Anthony, you've got to be careful, right? You've got to be careful in the words that you use, because as a songwriter, man, words really matter. And I got to say, I wish Oliver Anthony the best. I think anybody who puts thought into their art at this level needs to be heard. And that's why people are listening to it. But then you have the good old Republican Party who will take things and use it for their own advantage, use it for their own power, and use it to steer people away from the idea that they're the problem. The idea that half of our government doesn't give a damn about Americans. If you've watched any hearings with the Republicans controlling the Congress, they're all about Hunter Biden. And not about inflation, and not about creating more jobs. They're petty, right? They're petty, they're disingenuous, and they're dangerous. That's why Donald Trump was able to get into power as this, on this message that he created this empire, by fighting the rich men north of Richmond. He was still able to create an empire on his own. But you go back and you realize that his father gave him millions of dollars for real estate ventures, and that he was born with the silver spoon in his mouth, and that he is the class, the elite class, who's the danger to men like Oliver Anthony. So what does Donald Trump do when he gets into power? He cuts taxes for corporations, for corporate media like Fox News, saves Rupert Murdoch billions of dollars in taxes and corporate taxes, and leaves us with over $7 trillion in debt. He's the guy that a bunch of Oliver Anthony's listeners, he's the guy they wanted. Because conservative media and the GOP, they don't care about you. They do not care about you. Now, going back to, the Democratic Party and liberals that Oliver Anthony says criticized his work, I think that goes back to what I was saying about, the words that he used. And so I do want to address that there, because I think that the Democratic Party struggles, kind of getting into rural parts of this country and clearly kind of communicating and having their message come across in rural parts of the country. But I think that's something that Joe Biden and this government is trying to work on with the Infrastructure Act. And so we'll see, in 2024, whether or not I'm right with, is Democratic messaging, is there a large problem in parts of the country where Oliver Anthony is from? So, I had to talk about this because I watched this video, when it came out, and I really didn't want to, put the cart before the horse here and discuss something like this, because this is a strong message and the song is very thought-provoking. And so I wanted to come across, I wanted to come at this and treat it in the sensitive matter that it is, because you do have everyday Americans who are struggling and who have it really hard. And it's I think Oliver Anthony and the song is the way he sings it, his face, the they filmed it in a forest, so it's just him, his dog, his guitar, and the microphone and the trees. I love everything about it. But it needed it. There are parts of it, and this is, this is not a simple matter. This is very complex here when dealing with hundreds of millions of us as Americans, and billions of us as a global population, as Anthony said, that he's getting responses from the world. But we do have a system here that I needs work, and that is the idea, I think, behind Anthony's message, is that we can do better, we can be better, and for me, as a political analyst, as a liberal, quote unquote, a liberal person myself, I see that idea that we can be better and we can lift the weight off Americans' shoulders in their struggle. I see that far more often in the Democratic Party and in Democratic legislation than I do with the Republican Party and the GOP. So I'm interested to hear, what you have to say on this, and I, whatever part of the spectrum you're from, or whether you're off the spectrum, you don't even care about politics, you just listen to the song, what you have to say about it, because I'm gonna come at this in a completely different way, because it's my job to be in politics every day. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed what Oliver Anthony had to say here, and I hope you listen to more of his music in the future. And Oliver, like I said before, man, I wish you the best, and hopefully we can all work together for that brighter future that you're singing for, and that I'm making videos for, and that all of us are should be, maybe all of us except for those 8 guys on the debate stage and the board members over in those conservative media outlets. That's what we're all working for. That's what we should be working for. So if you like the video, please hit that like button and share it. My name is Brendan Plank with Reflect, and I'll see you in the next video.